Welcome back, and I hope your day is treating you kindly. Here on Turkish series Stars, we're diving into a story that's been buzzing across timelines, studio corridors, and late-night group chats, a story that has ignited whispers, bold claims, and a lot of heart. As you've likely seen in the title, today we're unpacking the alleged scandal involving Akınözü and Ebru Şahin. Buckle up, because we're going to walk through everything that's been said, everything that's been hinted, and everything we can responsibly piece together. Before we begin, if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, so you don't miss any of our deep dives and breakdowns. Your support keeps this community strong. Let's cut right to the chase. The duo who once captured millions with their fiery chemistry in Turkey, Akınözü and Ebru Şahin, have found themselves at the heart of a storm. Fans say their connection seemed to spill beyond the spotlight, drifting past professional boundaries into something far more intimate. Whether that's true or not remains the big question, but one thing is certain: the echoes have been so loud that they've shaken the entire Turkish entertainment world. It began quietly, almost innocently, months ago. A few photos here and there, fleeting clips cut and circulated, and a handful of reports suggesting an unusual closeness between Akın and Ebru. At first, the narrative was simple: they're co-stars who understand each other's rhythm. People chalked it up to the spark they radiated on screen, so natural, so unforced, that viewers wanted to believe it must reflect something real. It's human to wish that Miran and Reyhan's love might live beyond the confetti of a series finale, right? But then the tone changed. Small whispers hardened into claims. Alleged witnesses emerged. Suddenly, we weren't talking about set-side camaraderie anymore. We were hearing about late dinners that didn't end early, private moments in tucked-away corners, and a certain tension that seemed to surface whenever a reporter tried to probe a little too directly. And that's when the word people love to throw around entered the chat: scandal. What makes it a scandal? Let's be honest, speculation does. In Turkey, as in many parts of the world, the private lives of actors are both adored and dissected. When two people who once embodied a great romance on screen seem close off-screen, hopes bloom. But hopes come with shadows. Some fans cheered at the possibility of a real-life love story. Others worried, especially those protective of Ebru's image, or mindful that she had a then-partner whose place in her life mattered. Suddenly, the conversation went from "are they" to "should they?" And then it boiled over. The loudest claims suggested not merely closeness, but crossing a line, that Ebru might have begun something with Akın while still attached to her long-term partner. Whether justified or reckless, the rumors were gasoline, and social media was the match. Comments cascaded. Opinions collided. Feeds filled with people taking sides. On one side, the dreamers, thrilled at the idea of art reflecting life. On the other, those who felt a boundary had been breached, who voiced disappointment, who argued that the way the situation was unfolding hurt more than it healed. Turkey's fanbase is passionate, loyal, and vocal, fractured down the middle. For some, the thought of Miran and Reyhan becoming something tangible felt like a gift. For others, it felt like a misstep, a blur between fiction and reality that risked turning real people into storybook pieces. Respect for privacy became a rally cry. So did calls for accountability. Everyone had a lens, everyone had a verdict. Then came the relentless coverage. Headlines without nuance. Talk shows dissecting body language. Backstage footage slowed to a crawl, so every glance could be turned into an argument. There were sources close to the situation, statements supposedly uttered behind closed doors, anecdotes from rehearsals and rap parties. You name it, people claimed it. Did they smile too long? Did they turn away too fast? The smallest signs were weaponized. And the more it spread, the less anyone could tell what was real and what was simply wished into existence. Under the weight of all of this, silence settled in. Akın said little. Ebru said nothing at first. Even the then-partner remained unquoted for a time. And as so often happens, silence was taken as confirmation by some, and as dignity by others. But silence couldn't last forever. Word leaked that Ebru and her then-partner had ended their relationship. It was a clean break, at least on the surface. Behind the surface, who knows how long the decision had taken, how many conversations, how many nights spent turning the same questions over and over. For many observers, the breakup became a shadow confirmation of the rumors with Akın, whether fair or not. For those who cherished the previous relationship, it was a painful blow. For others, it felt like the beginning of a new chapter, maybe messy, but perhaps honest. Shortly after, Ebru put out a statement. It didn't read like a manifesto or a confession. She steered away from specifics. She clarified that she was single, that her focus was on her work, and that she wanted kindness, not chaos, to surround her and the people she cared about. It was firm without being combative, an attempt to reclaim some control in a narrative that had spun without her. Akın, true to form, kept his distance from the noise. He didn't make a grand declaration. He didn't issue denials with exclamation marks. But life has a way of speaking even when people don't. Photos from events, casual interactions spotted by restless eyes, these fragments kept feeding the belief that something unspoken still hovered between them. And if it was unspoken, some said, perhaps it was also unsteady, undefined, or fragile. This is the world we live in. Public judgment happens in real time. A rumor can circle the planet before a fact finishes tying its shoes. People clip, crop, stitch, and share, building towers of opinion on foundations of suggestion. And under those towers stand two actors who built their careers on emotion, now navigating feelings that may or may not be theirs to hand over to the world. What's remarkable is that the storm didn't sink their success. If anything, the fascination grew. Turkish remained beloved, its reruns and edits still drawing massive engagement. The characters that first drew fans in kept their hold. Miran and Rayyan, in the public imagination, were still mid-conversation, even when their story had ended long ago. Perhaps that's part of the magic and the danger. The screen can linger longer than life, and the lines between fan dreams and personal realities can rub against each other until sparks fly. Here's the hardest truth in all of this. Until those involved clearly confirm or deny, everything is, in the purest sense, speculation. There's no contract between celebrities and the public that demands that every private choice be displayed like a set prop. There's also no stopping the tide of curiosity. Both things exist together, and they make this kind of story feel inevitable. So, what do we take from the turbulence? First, that navigating a public romance, real or rumored, is a slippery climb. One misstep, or even the appearance of one, can send people sliding into cynicism. Second, that the glow of on-screen romance often becomes a mirror that fans hold up to real life, hoping to see a reflection. Sometimes the reflection is there. Sometimes it's not. And third, that media and social platforms can magnify the faintest hint into an earthquake that everyone feels. If you strip the noise away, what remains are two ambitious, gifted performers. Their work carried Turkish across borders, and their dedication, and yes, their chemistry, brought them global acclaim. The applause they earn for that stands regardless of what their hearts have or haven't done behind the scenes. It's too easy to forget that. It's too easy to let plotlines swallow people whole. To recap what we've unraveled today, rumors swelled about a real-life relationship between Akınözü and Ebru Şahin, and the talk intensified thanks to photos, sightings, and alleged insider comments. Those whispers grew even louder after Ebru's breakup with her then-partner. Yet, despite the public's hunger, there has been no definitive confirmation of a relationship. Meanwhile, the story has captured an audience that spans continents, inviting debate about love, loyalty, and the cost of fame. Maybe the last word for now should be a gentle one. Whatever the truth is, it belongs to them first. The rest of us can watch, wonder, and wish, but we don't get to write their script. If they ever choose to let us in, it will be on their terms. Until then, The most we can do is acknowledge that the lines between fiction and reality often blur, that hearts are complicated, and that sometimes the wisest thing is to let outcomes unfold without trying to force them. We've reached the end of today's deep dive, and what a maze it's been, fascinating, layered, and not easy to untangle. Tell me what you think. Do you believe there's substance to the rumors? Do you think the public should draw a line when it comes to the private lives of the actors they love? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read them, I think about them, and they shape the conversations we have here. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give the video a like, share it with fellow fans who keep an eye on Akın and Ebru, and don't forget to subscribe to Turkish series stars and turn on that bell. There's always more to explore, and I can't wait to bring you the next chapter. Whatever it turns out to be. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.